She told me not to say its name. I didn't want to go to the psychic, not because I didn't believe in it, but because something felt wrong before I even got there. It was that quiet, heavy feeling you get when you're about to walk into a place you shouldn't be, and no matter how much you try to ignore it, it stays with you. The shop itself didn't help. It was almost empty, with no decorations, no candles, nothing you'd expect from a place like that. Just a table, two chairs, and a single dim light hanging above them. It didn't feel like a business. It felt like a room someone wasn't supposed to find. She was already sitting there when I walked in, not greeting me, not smiling, just watching me like she had been expecting me the entire time. "You almost didn't come," she said. I paused, confused. "What?" She didn't answer. She just motioned for me to sit, and after a second I did. The chair felt colder than it should have, not like normal cold, but something deeper, like the temperature had dropped just for that spot. She didn't take my hand or close her eyes like I expected. She just stared at me, her gaze fixed, unblinking, like she was already seeing something I couldn't. Then her expression changed slowly, not into fear or surprise, but into recognition, like she had just confirmed something she didn't want to be true. "You've heard it before," she said. I frowned. "Heard what?" "The name," she replied. My chest tightened slightly. "What name?" She leaned forward just a little, her voice dropping lower. "The one you weren't supposed to repeat." I felt a strange pressure build in my head, like something was trying to surface, something I didn't want to remember. "I don't know what you're talking about," I said, but my voice didn't sound convincing anymore. "Yes, you do," she said quietly. The room went completely still. Then she asked, "Have you ever woken up and felt like someone was in the room with you?" I hesitated because I had, more than once. "You didn't move," she continued. "You didn't open your eyes, but you knew something was there. And then you heard it." The memory hit me immediately. A whisper right next to my ear, so soft I almost convinced myself it wasn't real. "Say it." I felt my hands tense. "How do you know that?" I asked. She ignored me. "Did you say it?" she asked. I shook my head quickly. "No." She studied me in silence for a long moment, then whispered, "Good." For a second, the pressure in the room eased, like something had been avoided. But then her expression shifted again, and this time it was unmistakable. Fear. "You almost did," she said. A chill ran through me. "What happens if you say it?" She didn't answer right away. Instead, she slowly turned her head, just slightly, looking past me, like something was standing behind my shoulder. Then she whispered, "It hears itself." My stomach dropped. "What does that mean?" Her eyes snapped back to mine. "It can't come through on its own," she said quickly. "It needs to be called. And when you say its name, you're not just calling it, you're telling it where you are." I swallowed. "So what happens if someone says it?" She stared at me, her face completely serious now. "Then it doesn't need to whisper anymore," she said. "It doesn't need to stay outside. It doesn't need permission." She leaned closer, her voice barely above a whisper. "Because once you say its name, it already knows how to sound like you." Something cold ran through my body. "Like me," she nodded slowly. "It starts small. You'll hear your voice when you're alone. At first, you'll think it's in your head. Then you'll hear it from another room. Then you'll hear it answer you." My throat went dry. "Answer me?" She didn't look away. "And eventually, it won't just sound like you." Silence filled the room again. "It will be you." I stood up immediately. "Yeah, I'm done," I said, trying to laugh it off, but it came out weak. "This is too much." She didn't stop me. She didn't try to explain. As I walked toward the door, she said one last thing. "Be careful what you repeat," she said quietly, "because sometimes you don't remember saying it the first time." I left, telling myself it was just an act, just something to mess with people's heads, but that feeling followed me all the way home. That night, I tried to ignore it. I turned on the TV, scrolled through my phone, did anything to distract myself, but eventually I went to bed. I don't know what time it was when I woke up, but the room was dark and completely silent. That kind of silence that feels wrong. Then I heard it. My voice, from somewhere in the room. Say it! I froze. I hadn't spoken. I hadn't moved. My chest tightened as I listened, hoping it was just my imagination. You already did. The voice sounded exactly like mine, but there was something off about it, something empty, like it was copying me without understanding what it was supposed to sound like. She told me not to open the door. I never believed in psychics, not really. To me, it was just people reading your face, guessing things, saying vague stuff that could apply to anyone. But my wife loved that kind of thing. Come on, she told me, smiling. It'll be fun. So I went. The place was small with dim lighting and a smell of incense mixed with something older, like dust that had been sitting there for years. The psychic sat across from us at a small table. She barely looked at my wife. Most of the time, she was staring at me. I didn't like that. She took my hand and closed her eyes. At first, I thought she was just getting into character, but the silence dragged on longer than expected. Too long. Then suddenly, she let go. Her chair scraped back sharply against the floor. No, she said. My wife laughed nervously. What do you mean, no? The psychic shook her head. I'm not doing this reading. The room felt off, like the air had gotten heavier. Why? I asked. She looked straight at me, but not at my face. Just slightly past me, like she was staring at something behind me. Then she said it. Something followed you here. I turned immediately. There was nothing there. Just the door behind me, closed. When I looked back at her, she was pale. You need to listen to me carefully, she said. Tonight, no matter what happens, do not open your door. I almost laughed. What? She leaned forward, her voice dropping low. If something knocks, no matter what it sounds like, no matter who it sounds like, her eyes locked onto mine. Do not open the door. Silence filled the room. My wife tried to brush it off, saying it was just part of the experience, but the psychic didn't smile. She didn't explain. She didn't finish the reading. We left. On the drive home, I joked about it, said it was a good act, but my wife didn't laugh. That night, everything felt different. The house was quiet, too quiet. Even the usual sounds, the AC, the fridge, were gone. It felt like the whole house was holding its breath. We went to bed early. Neither of us said it, but we were both thinking about what she said. Don't open the door. I checked the locks twice. Front door, back door, windows, everything. Then we went to sleep. Or at least, we tried. I don't know what time it was when I woke up, but the room was dark and silent, the kind of silence that feels wrong. Then I heard it, a knock, soft, slow. I froze, so another knock followed. Knock, knock, coming from downstairs. My heart started pounding. I sat up and looked at my wife. She was asleep. Then I heard it. Babe? My stomach dropped. It was her voice, from downstairs. Can you open the door? I turned slowly toward the bed. My wife was right next to me, still asleep. I felt cold all over. Babe, I forgot my keys. Same voice, same tone, exactly like her, but she was right here. I whispered her name. She didn't wake up. The knocking came again, louder this time. Bang! 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 Why aren't you opening the door? The voice sounded wrong now. Still hers, but stretched, like something was trying too hard to sound human. I got out of bed slowly. Every step toward the hallway felt heavy. Hurry, it's cold, the voice called. I reached the top of the stairs. The front door was in view, still closed. The knocking stopped. Silence. Then softly, almost crying, please! That hit me because it sounded real, exactly how my wife would sound if she was locked out. I took another step down, but then I remembered what the psychic said. No matter what it sounds like, do not open the door. I stopped. My hand was shaking. The doorknob was right there. All I had to do was open it. And then the voice changed, instantly. You're not going to let me in, are you? Are you? It wasn't her anymore. It was deeper, empty, like something hollow was speaking. I backed away slowly. The door handle started moving, turning, slowly, but the door didn't open because it was locked. Then came the sound, scratching, right against the door, like nails dragging across wood. Then a whisper, right on the other side. "I can wait." Silence. I ran upstairs, locked the bedroom door, and didn't sleep. I didn't move. Morning came. I checked the front door. It was still locked, but the wood was covered in scratch marks. Long, deep marks, like something had been trying to get in. My wife asked what happened. I told her everything. She went quiet, then said something that made my blood run cold. "I never left the bed last night," she said softly, "but I had a dream." I stared at her. "What kind of dream?" She swallowed. "I was outside, standing in front of the house, knocking, screaming for you to let me in. I couldn't move. I couldn't stop knocking, and something was standing behind me." Silence filled the room. "It wasn't letting me leave," she whispered. "I don't go to psychics anymore, but sometimes late at night I still hear it. Knock, knock, knock." You brought something back with you. I didn't expect anything real to happen when I went to see the psychic. It was one of those late afternoon decisions, something to pass the time more than anything else. The place looked ordinary from the outside, just another small shop squeezed between two businesses. But the moment I stepped inside, something felt wrong. Not obvious, not dramatic, just off. Like the air was thicker than it should have been. The psychic didn't greet me the way I expected. She didn't smile or offer any kind of introduction. She just sat there already watching me, like she had been waiting for me specifically. That alone made me uneasy. I sat down across from her, trying to keep things casual. She reached for my hand, but the moment our skin touched, she froze. Her expression changed instantly. Not confusion, not curiosity, but fear. She pulled her hand away so quickly it knocked against the table, and her chair slid back, scraping loudly across the floor as she stood up. "No," she said sharply. "I'm not doing this reading." I laughed awkwardly, thinking maybe this was part of the act. "What do you mean?" I asked. She shook her head, stepping back like I had done something wrong. "You need to leave." That's when I felt it again, that pressure in the air, like the room had gotten smaller. "Why?" I asked, more serious now. She hesitated, then looked directly past my shoulder, her eyes locked onto something I couldn't see. Then she whispered, "It noticed you." A chill ran through my entire body. "What noticed me?" I asked. She didn't answer right away. Instead, she slowly stepped around the table, keeping her distance from me. "You weren't alone when you walked in," she said quietly, "but it wasn't attached to you yet." My stomach tightened. "What are you talking about?" Her eyes snapped back to mine. "You need to go home. And when you do not acknowledge anything that doesn't feel right. Do you understand me?" I didn't respond. "Do not talk to it," she added. "Do not look at it for too long. And whatever you do not let it know you're afraid." That was it. No explanation, no reading, just fear. I left trying to shake it off, telling myself she was just playing into the experience. But the feeling followed me all the way home. That night, things started small. The TV flickered once, then turned off by itself. I turned it back on, checked the remote, blamed it on a glitch. Then my phone lit up on the table beside me. No notification, no message. Just on. Like something had touched it. I told myself it was nothing, until I heard the whisper. It was faint, so faint I almost missed it. "Hello?" I turned immediately. Nothing. No one. The house was empty. I checked every room, every window, every lock. Everything was secure. I went to bed uneasy, still trying to convince myself it was just my imagination. That's when the second night happened. I was sitting on the couch, scrolling through my phone, when I noticed something move in the reflection of the TV screen. Behind me. I turned quickly. Nothing. But when I looked back at the screen, it was still there. A shape standing just over my shoulder. Tall. Too tall. I froze. Slowly I raised my hand and waved it in front of the screen. My reflection moved, but the shape didn't. It stayed perfectly still, watching me. I didn't turn around. I couldn't. Instead, I remembered what the psychic said, do not acknowledge it. So I sat there completely still, pretending I didn't see it. Minutes passed. Then suddenly my phone buzzed. A text message from an unknown number. I hesitated before opening it. Then I read it. I can see you. My heart dropped. I didn't reply. I didn't move. Another message came through. Why won't you look at me? My breathing got heavier. The TV screen went black. And for a split second, I saw it clearly. Right behind me. Its face wasn't right. Not human. Too stretched. Too wide. Like it didn't understand how a face was supposed to look. I shut my eyes. I didn't turn around. I didn't acknowledge it. Silence filled the room. Then something leaned in close. So close I could feel it, right next to my ear. I know you hear me. I stayed still. Every part of me wanted to run, but I didn't move. Seconds passed, then minutes, and eventually, the feeling faded. I thought it was over. I was wrong, because now it doesn't just stay behind me. Sometimes I see it in reflections. Sometimes I hear it walking in the hallway. And sometimes, late at night, my phone lights up again. Same number, same message. I'm still here, and the worst part is, it's learning, getting better. The voice sounds clearer now, more human, more familiar, like it's practicing, like it's trying to become something I'll recognize. I haven't gone back to the psychic, but I think about what she said every day. It wasn't attached to you yet. Yet. I slowly sat up, my heart pounding, and that's when I heard it again, clearer this time, right next to my bed. I know your name now. I didn't sleep after that, and now sometimes when I'm alone, I hear myself speaking from another room. Sometimes I hear my voice call out to me when I haven't said anything. And sometimes late at night, when everything is quiet, I hear it whispering again, softer now, more confident, not asking anymore, just repeating. And the worst part is, sometimes I don't remember if I ever said it.